Hello everyone. Today we have with us Vikas. He was also my batchmate and he cracked digital specialist role at Infosys through Hack with Infi. And today he is here with us to share his interview experience. Hi Vikas.
Yeah, hi Shashank. Thank you for this opportunity. And yeah, so I am Vikas, and currently I'm working in Infosys as a digital specialist engineer. So I'm working as a Angular developer right now, and I got into Infosys through Hack with Infi. So basically, this Hack with Infi is an online coding competition in which they basically conduct on national level, and there are actually three rounds. So the first round was happened in June 2019. No, sorry, it happened in I think March in 2019. So in which they asked me around they asked three questions in that, and it was related to data structures and algorithms. So I was able to solve I think two questions, and after that after few days they send me mail that I have qualified for the first second round, and then they conducted the second round in I think after in next month. I think after the first round they conducted the second round in next month. So yeah, so in that they asked like there were three problems in which they that was based on DAs and algos and some kind of maths problem also, and advanced DS was also there. So in which I was able to solve one problem, and the second problem actually I was able to pass few test cases only. So all test cases were not passing. So yeah, so few test cases I was able to pass. So I was like I was not sure that I will be able to got an opportunity for pre-placement and all, but though they have sent me a mail that I am qualified for the pre-placement offer and all. So I will be interviewed for this digital specialist engineer profile. Okay, so after that, I think after around 1 month after the second round. So actually, after second round, I didn't qualify for the third round. So I only qualified for the pre-placement interview. I didn't qualify for the third round. So it was after third round got completed. Like you went to the third round, right? So after third round, they came to the campus, and they you know they for those people who qualified for the pre-placement offer, they conducted on-site interview. Like it was in-campus interview. So that was also a very unique interview, like for Infosys. Like they gave in on campus interview, they gave us like first round was paper, paper, they gave three problems, and for which we have to write code on paper. So it was basically it was a very easy questions. Like all the three questions were not difficult. It was quite easy. So they asked us to write code for those questions, and they gave us only 30 minutes for that. So I remember the question. One question I remember from that pre-placement interview. So one question was around like they have given one array, sorted array, and they have given and they have given rotation into that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was to find the point of rotation in that sorted array. So it was the first question. So I remember I was able to solve all the three questions in that paper, you know, uh, on that paper. So after that, like after writing those uh, coding questions on paper, so they asked us to come into the cabin and to take face-to-face interview. So in that interview, they first they started with those coding problems which they gave us. So they asked us to make them understood like what are our approach for those problems, and how did you get to that approach, and what is the time complexity and space complexity of the of that solutions. So in that first they started with these coding problems. I in that I explained them my solution. So some solutions which I wrote was taking much time. Like the time complexity was, I remember, for one question it was n square. So they asked me to optimize that in that interview only. So for that I used some other DS and data structures, and I optimized it to big of n. So after that, the interviewer was quite impressed. Like he was like, yeah, now it is good, because the earlier the time complexity was like n square, and I then later I reduced it to n, big of n. So he was quite impressed. So after that, I think he discussed about my, the core subjects. Like he started with this. I think he started with DBMS. First, he started with DBMS. So he gave me one, problem in which I had to normalize it. So it was basically a functional dependency problem. So he gave me some functional dependency, and he asked me to normalize it to one in, I think, the first normal form. There are four, I think, no. So
Yeah.
first, second, and third, and then BCNF comes into the picture.
Mhm.
So he asked me to normalize into, first normal form. Then he asked me to normalize it to second normal form, then third normal form. Then he didn't ask me to normalize it to BCNF, because already he told that third normal form, it's fine. Like it already very optimized. So he didn't ask me to optimize to BCNF and all. So before asking this question, he actually asked me like, what is your good subject? Like in which subject you think that you are very good at it? Okay, so I told him that, yeah, I am good at DBMS, and yeah. So from there he started asking questions from DBMS. So and so yeah, after that question, he gave me one SQL query, I remember. So it was basically to find the second highest salary. It is a very standard problem. Like we all know that it will be asked in, it is asked
Yeah.
in so many interviews. Yeah. So
Yes.
it was a very generic question. Like he gave me like, you find the first, he asked me to find the first salary actually. So after finding the first salary, he gave me, okay, now you find the second salary in the table. So after that, when he asked me first salary, I gave two approach for that problem. So he was quite impressed with that. Like I have given like two approach for that problem. So he was impressed. And after that, he gave me like, find the second salary, and for that also I solved that, and I gave two solutions for that. Yeah. So after DBMS, he went into, I think he discussed. Sorting algorithms. Yeah, I remember he discussed some sorting algorithms. So he again asked me to write code on the paper for sorting algorithms. So it was a quick sort, and he asked me the time complexity and space complexity for that. After that, I think he asked some basics question from operating system, and he didn't ask any question from computer networks. Like I was expecting that he would ask some questions, at least some one or two questions from computer networks, but he didn't ask. So yeah. So from OS he asked basic question, and after that I think he went into my projects. So it was college projects, mini and minor projects. So I have mentioned 2 to 3 projects in my resume. So he started asking questions from those projects. So it was basically a machine learning project. So it was from machine learning project. So he started asking questions from that project. So I gave 2 to 3 answers like from that project, but then he went inside, like he went too deep into the machine learning and stuff. Then yeah, so I was not very confident, and I was not very good at machine learning, though I did project so with my teammates. But still he was fine. Like I gave 2 to 3 questions, 2 to 3 answers for those questions. And yeah, so after that, I think the interview was around for 45 minutes to 50 minutes. And after that, he told me that, yeah, we are done, and you can wait outside. So I was waiting outside, and I was expecting the HR round for Infosys, but apparently they didn't take any HR round, and they disclosed the results that, yeah, you are selected in Infosys as a digital specialist engineer. Yeah, so I
Okay.
think that is pretty much about my interview experience with Infosys. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that was one of the most detailed, exhaustive intro experience we've seen so far. Like that will be really helpful for the juniors.
Yeah, thanks, Shashank.
Thank you. So let's move on with the Q&A session. So first we'll go with does CGPA matter?
CGPA actually matters till some extent. Like it totally depends on the companies. Like if they are considering, if they want more, if they want some people who is more oriented towards their goals, and towards the towards if they think that it is better to judge a person based on the marks, then yeah, I think for those companies at least, I think yeah, CGPA matters. And yeah, and for like for in campus companies, I think CGPA actually matters, because most of the companies set some kind of criteria into that. Like if you have this much of CGPA, this, then you only will be able to sit for that companies.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think the CGPA matters till some
Mhm.
extent. If you are scoring like around 8.3, 8 point, more than 8.25, or around 8.5, that is more than enough. I think you will be eligible for all the companies,
Mhm.
like on campus also and off campus also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. So you want to highlight upon the difference between the competitive programming that we usually do and the standard DSA that are usually asked in interviews.
Okay, so there are quite difference in between standard DSA and competitive programming. So I think in standard DSA, I think most of the things are standard. Like it's like they are well defined. Like these many things you have to study in standard DSA, and yeah, from these many only questions will be asked. Okay,
Mhm.
but when it comes to competitive programming, so the things are quite deep. Actually, there are a lot of things in competitive programming.
Mhm.
From it actually, you have to do maths also, you have to do prepare for DS and algos also, and there are a lot of algorithms which we don't use on daily basis, like in production and all. So those things
Mhm.
also we need to, I think, we need to prepare to solve questions which comes under the competitive programming stream. So I think
Mhm.
these are the differences.
Mhm. Yeah. So is the interview only about problem solving and DSA, or is there any other parameters that go into it?
So I don't think it is actually totally problem solving skills and this DS and algos, because when you interview for some companies like set their criteria. Like it totally actually depends to the
Mhm.
companies. Like if they are hiring you for only if you have only a great problem solving skills and all, and some
Mhm.
companies look like if you have some kind of technical skills also. Like suppose
Mhm.
if you consider one MNC and one startup, so
Mhm.
in startup they expect you to you should know some kind of technical stuff. Like suppose you
Right.
should know JavaScript, TypeScript, Angular, and Node.js, and this stuff,
Yeah.
so that they can they can give you work from day one. Okay,
Right.
but when it
Yeah.
comes to MNCs, so they believe that they believe in problem solving skills. Like they think that if you have a good problem solving skills,
Mhm.
so you can learn anything. Like you can learn any skills, either it is machine learning or some development tools, anything you can learn if you have a
Mhm.
good problem solving skills. So yeah, so
Mhm.
it totally depends on the companies. So what
Mhm.
I believe is, if you are good at problem solving skills till some extent, not a pro or something. So if you are
Mhm.
good at problem solving skills till good extent, then you
Mhm.
should focus on your technical skills also. So you
Mhm.
should be focusing on your some development tools, some development frameworks and all. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's pretty much about that.
Yeah, so especially startups, they are looking for someone who can join and like immediately start contributing because profit is very
Exactly.
important for them. So they prefer
Exactly.
people who are well versed with the technology that they are already working on. But yeah, as you
Exactly.
said, yeah, MNCs will be like they'll just hire first and then they see which team or which technology that person will be
Exactly.
working on.
So because the MNCs believe in that, like they will hire you first and they will train you on
Hmm.
the technology which they require in their project. Okay.
Hmm.
So it works. This is how it works. So in Infosys also, like they hired us on based on problem solving skills only, and they gave us training, and I think that is we are doing good into that, because we are, a good problem
Yeah.
solver, I
Yeah.
believe.
And Infosys is known for its best training that they give.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, so the training was actually fabulous.
Mm. Yeah. So moving on to the next question, does programming language matter?
Yeah, I think it matters. At least for me, it matters because there are two things. Actually, when you are in college, basically people prefer C++ when they are in college, because it has a lot of inbuilt libraries, so that you can use them in competitive programming to reduce the time consuming to solve a problem. So people prefer that C++, but I think that I think that C++ is fine if you are in college and you are doing competitive programming. So that is fine. That is actually good. But when you comes to the industry, so there are very few companies who are actually using C++ programming. Like most of the companies, I think they are using Java, Golang, JavaScript. This language they are using in their in their
Yeah.
projects. So
Right.
I think if you are in college in first or second year, so you should focus on C++ if you are focusing on competitive programming much. But if you are technology oriented, or if you want to build your tech stacks, so you should focus on some object oriented programmings like Java, JavaScript, or Golang. Yeah, I think.
Okay. So do you have any suggestions for candidates before the interview, like 1 week, 1 day before interview?
So before 1 week, I would suggest that you should go through the basics concepts of core subjects. First, you should actually research on the companies like for which you are going to give interviews, like what all questions they have asked previously to the other candidates, and like generally what they ask. So depending
Right.
on that, you should prepare according to that. So if they are suppose if they are asking questions from the CEN or OS, DBMS, so you should focus on the basic concept of those, and you can refer some interview questions from that subjects, which is available on GFG, I think. So you can refer those, and yeah. So before 1 week, you can do that, and also you can focus on your projects also, because almost all the companies, they ask questions from your projects, like what all have you done in your 4 years of engineering life. Yeah.
Yeah. So we
So,
have
and
invested so many time on those projects, and if you don't revise and we are not able to remember in the interview, it will be of no use.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, and before 1 day, I would like to say that before 1 day, I think you should focus on your resume, like what all you have written in your resume. Go through those things, and prepare for that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think we are almost towards the end of this session. So to end with, do you want to share some experience like working with Infosys, your life there, as you are partly there for some time and now we are having work from home? How was your experience so far?
So yeah, so I think with Infosys, I'm pretty lucky that I'm working in this such a big company, Infosys. So actually, yeah. So my actually first I would like to talk about my my training experience. I think that would be that is very
The
important.
best
So
part, yeah.
that yeah, that is the best part actually. So the
Mm.
training was actually very very good. Actually, it's based actually. So basically, last year I got my training in September, I think September 2020. So it started in September. So because of this lockdowns and this COVID situations, they scheduled the training. They scheduled the virtual training. So they didn't ask us to come to the Mysore campus, but they scheduled the virtual training. Like it was happening on the WebEx. Most of the sessions were happening on the WebEx. So it was quite quite good. Actually, I think the the trainer was very well trained. I think they are very good at what they are going to teach you. Okay, so you will have a very good experience in learning those stuffs, and they are quite they will give you very detailed explanation for everything, like whatever they are teaching. Suppose I got my training in MeanStack technology, so they started from, from the basics to they did go to very deep. Like they started with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then they started explaining about frameworks and all. So it was from scratch. So you don't need to worry about things that what will be the prerequisites for any technology and all. So if they are assigning any technology to you, so they will give you training from the scratch. Okay. So I think that was very good. The training part was very good. So as soon as training got completed, so I went into the project. So in project, actually I was trained in MeanStack technology, but I got my project in some other technology. It was basically a Golang and gRPC related stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, so that also I got to learn many things about gRPC and Golang technology and all. So yeah, so that will sum up to your tech stacks.
Hmm.
So after
Yeah.
that, I switched to some other project, and now I think now I am working on Angular developer. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's great. So yeah, thank you, Vikas, for being with us. It was great having this session with you.
yeah. Thanks, Shashank, for inviting me.